Whoa. Well. Well, what it is, Internet? What's going on? It's a beautiful, smoke-riddled, unhealthy air to breathe kind of Monday. I'm coming to you live broadcasting on the Internet, all the way from Western Washington in the United States, where we've been inundated with wildfire smoke, wildfires, wildness, the pandemic, the something else going on, economic downturn. I don't know. There's just so many crazy things going on here. In the year 2020, we might as well give you guys a weather report. The air quality here is so bad that you can't breathe it. You don't want to breathe it. You don't want to breathe the air around here. Up until today, it has been qualified as hazardous. And then it was what was it? It's hazardous, and then what's the next rating? Let's look at the air quality. Hold on. There's like an index where they give these readings. It starts out as at the very top. Oh crap. Of course it's not easy to look up. Let's look at this. There we go. Hazardous is the very top, where it hits like 500 parts per million of disgusting bad air. Then it hits very unhealthy. That's where I got mixed up there. It goes very unhealthy, and here is the current up-to-date moment of, let me get the screen here. Smart selection. It looks like this. Our current air quality index looks in this, like it's just awful out here. I'm up in this region here between Seattle and Portland, which is now cresting this little bit of red as opposed to this off. What would you call this color? Like a dark gray red, and then a purple. We're maybe in the red, but we're still in the purple. Very unhealthy. 200 to 300 parts per million of bad news. Let's see. So the orange is unhealthy for sensitive groups, which is going to be me also. Considering my upper respiratory issues this year, it has been not good. This air is not good. This is not good. This is not good. We've had a whole lot of wildfire action in Washington State, which is very common. We've had a whole lot of wildfire action in Oregon, which is very common, and a whole lot of wildfire action in California, which I will argue that these are all very common, but the volume is what is uncommon. We have an inordinately high amount of wildfire. Wildfire is something you definitely have to be cognizant of if you live in this side of the Rockies, west of the Rocky Mountain Range. It is something that will always be a concern. Now, how to address that, I'm not going to say on this stream. I'm also not going to really give advice on any of that kind of stuff right now. But it is something that we deal with every single year. It does seem to be a lot worse, as in the combination of... So let me get my arrow out here. Where's my arrow? There it is. Let's turn on the arrow, and now I need to move it to the front of the people seeing with your eyeballs. So typically the air... Oh, I have to move it around. I have to open this thing, and we have to give it a little swaggle on the X and the Y and the Z. Let's go Z-axis today. There we go. Boom. So the air normally comes from the Pacific Ocean this away, right? Left to right on your map that you're seeing with your eyeballs. It normally comes from over here where it's blue, aka water, and goes this direction, right? That's the direction that it goes. And while we were on vacation, as I mentioned last week, the air went this a direction, and I can, if I had taken video or something, I could have pinpointed the moment that while I was over here in this region of the Washington, I was right in here. Let's move the arrow a little bit. I was on this river right here. You guys can see the river line right here. This is where I was at. And the air suddenly started going this direction, which is not normal. It doesn't normally go east to west. But sometimes there's a low pressure zone out here that sends air going back the other direction. It's not very common. But these wildfires that normally burn in the opposite direction, like that, they normally burn that direction, turned around and went the other way where all of the big cities are and the people's is at. Rough couple of days here. This whole entire weekend has been inundated with bad air. It is... So, I forget what the UV index is exactly. Let me see the UV index scale. Let's look that up real quick, which of course I have to close the window. So let me... UV index scale. I think this is the UV index scale. No, that's not the scale that I'm looking for. Guys, this is not the scale that we're looking for. I didn't realize I was going to talk about this during the show. Otherwise, I would have found this ahead of time. But yeah, the scale goes 1 to 15, right? Yeah, 15 is like crazy. 0 is dark out. 8 is sun time. Let me see. Let me get this thing. Let me make sure I get the right thing. There we go. Okay. So this scale right here shows you the UV index that you would normally see. 8 is like bright sunshine, which you see down of the United States. Down here, you guys normally get 8. We normally get a 6 to 7, typically 7 up here. And over on Saturday, we had 1. That's how much smoke was in the air, just to give you the idea. That's how much smoke was in the air. Our UV index was like, you don't need to wear anything. And you can see right here on the map, in parts of Oregon, it is still like that. There's the 1 to 2 right in here. There's some down here in Washington also. That's how intense the smoke was. The smoke was like having, you know, an umbrella that covered the whole area that you were in, right? And it was orange outside. If you went outside, it was like sunset. Let me find the day 2, day 3, day 4. Is this what it is? Either way, it was, you know, just to tell you guys, like, it has been an insane weekend. It was super weird, man. We were just, like, you could go outside and it was like dusk, but it was noon on a day that was supposed to be, it was noon on a day that was supposed to be sunny. Like, the sky was clear. There was just so much smoke that it was darker than overcast day, you know? So it was very weird, and we're recovering from that. This weekend was nuts, trying to get work done today. You know, I basically was on daddy duty all weekend because of migraines and things being caused by smoky air. So it's not helping the day-to-day business around here, but that's what's up. Seirun Sem, what's up? Says, finally a stream. Where can I find past live streams? I can't seem to find them on your channel. They go unlisted after I'm done doing them. So to anybody out there that has watched the live streams and is interested in watching the live streams, subscribe, notification bell, all notifications. You will get a notification when I set up a live stream. You'll get a notification when we go live. And then you'll be able to watch the previously aired live stream if you still have the notification. I wonder if I can even show you guys. Let me go to YouTube and then let me see if I can even show you what the notifications look like on my end. That's not it. That's not it. I don't think I can show you guys on the computer. That is... Oh, that's useless. We don't want to see a Social Blade subscription counter. But hey, look at that. We have 27,000 subscribers. Okay, here we go. This might work. We've got multiple of this stream playing at the same time. I don't know why. That's weird. I don't know. But let me get my screen capture here. Let me go ahead and remove this one. We'll go add source. And we go devices, video. No, that's not right. We want screen capture. There we go. Smart selection. What I'm going to do is just select this little area up here. I'm going to do a quick little walkthrough of this little jammer here. So as you can see, this is my YouTube page, right? Now I've got this little bell right here, so maybe I don't even get them to my phone or my email or any of that kind of stuff. If you have a YouTube account, you can go to your page and hit this notification thing right here, right? And as you can see, I've got an aquarium co-op notification. That was a Dean video. I still haven't watched that, so it's still sitting there. One of my favorite Minecraft guys, Fit MC. I got his notification there. Let's see. Is it scrolling in a way that you guys can see? Let me see. There we go. I got the Joe Rogan notification. So, and then I got this guy down here who's like my favorite guy, Sean Tucker. Wait, I don't know if I can get that. That's not working. Yeah, either way. But I get my YouTube notifications like that. If you get those YouTube notifications, you can watch them later on by accessing your own notifications and then watch them later. So welcome to YouTube tutorial time with me, your humble narrator. Okay, moving on. In fish news, we don't really have that much as far as fish news goes. Things have been the same around here pretty much altogether. I am working continually on my plant encyclopedia. I don't know if anybody out there has picked up that watches this channel. I bet you have probably picked up on it. I'm slowly but assuredly working my way through all of the plants that I have on hand, right? So it's not only it's not only plants that I've had over the years or anything goofy like that. It's literally, any plant that I have on hand, and I'm able to actually show you guys interacting with it, verifying whether or not water tolerances are right, fertilization schedule, lights, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff, what's kind of important in that, and that. So I'm still working on that plant encyclopedia. As you guys know, those come out generally once a week, and I think that's kind of my current project right now, is trying to get to a point where I feel like I have enough of a video encyclopedia of plants that is accessible to most people, in the fact that, like, so let's say I did a Pinnatifida video. I think I have 3 of them now, right? So somebody would be able to go, they're looking up Hygrophila pinnatifida, right, on the internet. And then they go, oh, there's some videos here. Oh, there's one from this dude, Corvus. All right, I'm going to check that out. Cool. And they go and look at that. Maybe they got served up a video that was 3 or 4 or 5 years old. And then they would go, oh, there's a new one here from that guy. Okay, let me check the new one. And let me see, like, maybe there's some difference in information, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So that's probably the biggest project that I'm working on right now, is just continually doing that to a point where I really feel like I have an encyclopedia that sort of also follows the years, right? So that's kind of where, I'm getting my own ideas from, and what I'm working off of is like, oh man, it's been a really long time since I did a video on dwarf baby tears or something, right? So that's the kind of stuff that I'm working on right now. We obviously do these live streams and things get a little fast and loose on here, but that's my main project that I'm working on right now. And if there is some DIY stuff or tank setups and things like that, I'm definitely going to film those too. But that's the main focus of what I'm onto right now. Andrew was asking, where's the music? Where's the music? Where's the music? Dude, my bad. I had forgot to click a button over here that turned the system sound on. So I had started the stream, which normally has some music playing, and it didn't. It didn't have any music playing. So I hit it there for an extra 20 seconds or something before I started the show. So my bad. 100% operator error on my end. A little rusty, a little weird from this weather and the week off and all that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty bad out. So I feel like I represented that enough. Hey Steve, did you see the Lutheran church across the street from Bernie burned bad last night? I'm not Steve, but let's Lutheran church Tacoma. Let's check the news on that. Fire. Oh yeah. Oh, that is a big time problem. That looks like that church totally caught on fire. Oh no, that's from 2016. That's a problem. 2016 it caught on fire. 2018 it caught on fire. 2020 seems to be this one. Whoop. Crap. We got a video. We can't play that. We can't play videos on here. Don't do that. That's a drag. I'm gonna check that out later. But that's a real drag. I don't like to see that, but it looks like a local YouTube channel. So I'm gonna leave that open because maybe I'll be able to say what's up to that guy at some point. Maybe we could collaborate on something. Who knows? Who was asking? Somebody was asking about zucchini. Where did that go? Where did that go? Try reading. Let's see. Who was asking that? Andrew. Oh, Andrew was also asking that. Andrew says, do you have to blanch zucchini before you to feed it to plecos. Like, you don't have to, but as Alyssa said, you don't have to, but otherwise you have to weigh it down. So you may have to get some lead plant weights, which aren't lead, by the way, so don't worry about that. Maybe get some plant weights, maybe get a metal skewer. There are some stuff out there that, well, let me see if I can find a link to that, because we really got to try and sell some stuff on Amazon these days, right? So let's go to Amazon. Oops. So we want squash weight for fish feeding. Let's try that. Oh man. It didn't figure out what I wanted. Oh man, you stinky internet. So it's like this metal spiral deal that actually works really good. Let's see. Let's just try weight for fish feeding. Fish feeding vegetable weights. Vegetable weights. You can see how fast I can type on this keyboard. It's not good. Well, here's a link to the lead weights. I've used these in the past. I normally just stab them through whatever, zucchini, cucumber. I don't know if you could stab them through spinach, but you know what I mean. But there's a link right there to that if you want to check those out. It's just that's just regular plant weights. Obviously, you could go to Aquarium Co-op. Almost any site out there will have all sorts of weight things that you could add. And I think Aquarium Co-op has plant weights now too, right? I think. Let me check. Let's look. Aqua Coop. Oh, there we go. Aqua Coop. And then let's go into the search bar for plant weights. Oh crap, they're $2.49. Yeah, $2.49 for a pack of 10. Okay, that's a better deal, I think, than the one that I linked. Let me check. 25 pack for 10. Price break is better at Aquarium Co-op. So, yeah, that's what I would do. Go to Aquarium Co-op then. Although I don't make a commission off that, so gosh. But yeah, in the interest of you guys saving money, I would say go to Aquarium Co-op instead. That's what I would do. So, yeah. And my initial searches seems to be cheaper over there. Although you may need to pay for shipping. So, I don't know. But I don't know the rules, man. I just go there and plug in stuff and make things work. Whoa, we got a 10. Oh my God, 20. What is that? 20. Is that pounds? No, that's 20 euro. Super chat from Dan Squire says it's Monday. Put this towards a gas mask. So I will tell you guys a funny story from this regarding a gas mask and all of this smoke out here. I'm not going to get too voraciously into details, but as you guys know, I've been sober for a really long time, and one of the things that my takeaway from getting sober in the program that I got down with, which was Alcoholics Anonymous, is that there's a point at the beginning of Alcoholics Anonymous where you do 90 meetings for 90 days, where it's like, go to a meeting every day for 90 days. On average, it's about an hour, hour and a half. And it's like, get in the rhythm of getting to do this thing. Now, I think this works across the board for pretty much anything anybody's trying to do ever. I don't think that this is just an Alcoholics Anonymous idea. I don't think it has anything to do with necessarily recovery, but I honestly think that if you're trying to make some kind of change in your life, like, hey, you want to be a writer, well, write something every day for 90 days. You want to be a cinematographer, shoot some film every day for 90 days. You want to get into better shape, do something every day for 90 days, And that's where I'm at, because I was carrying around about an extra 12 to 14 pounds, which is not that big of a deal. Realistically, let's be honest, it's not that big of a deal. But I am somebody who is pretty cognizant of my weight for doing a lot of rock climbing and all that kind of stuff in my past. I kind of keep track of air quote fitness, right? Air quote fitness, not real life fitness or anything like that, but just my fitness of that's one of the metrics. You know, it's like, what am I eating? How much am I sleeping? What's my weight at? How much can I lift? How much can I bench? How much can I squat? Blah, 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 right? It's just a whole metric of nonsense. But I was up from kind of the pandemic of not being super active like I normally am, and having the lung issues earlier this year. I was up about 13, 14 pounds. So that's kind of considerable, because I try to stay under 200 pounds. I like to stay at about 180 pounds. I was at about 194-ish in that range. So I was actually carrying around some extra weight, a little extra cookies and ice cream and that kind of stuff. You know how it is. So I was, so what I did was I said, you know what, I'm going to start walking and jogging and running, and just track it by going 5 miles a day, you know, work my way up from, work my way back up to kind of where I was at before. So I've been doing that every day for 90 days. I've been tracking it with a pedometer, right? So I'm back to my normal weight, so everything's fine. But I've been having to do that every single day, and I think I'm at day like 45 or something like that right now. So it's been about 6 weeks, something, maybe a little bit longer than that. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But some of the days have been so weird that I've been having to do it. I've been having to do that. What's the word? Texas Andy's asking how tall I am. I'm just shy of 6 feet. I'm just shy of 6 foot. But I do slouch a lot. But anyhow, the days have been really weird. So like Saturday's a perfect example. Like I was taking care of Olivia all day. She goes to bed about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then kind of like cleaning up the house, do all the dishes, all that kind of stuff is about 10 o'clock, and I'm like, I have got to hit, I've got to get all my steps in for today. So 10 o'clock, I throw on my gas mask. I even posted this on Instagram, so, and I think I posted it in a Discord also. I have a picture of it right here. Let me download it real quick. I always forget where the download button is here. What? Why is it not? There's like a button on Discord that I can view the original, right? Isn't that how I have to do it? I don't want to... Oh, there it is. It's like all super tiny down there. All right, now I can save the image. Let's save this into PNG files, my guy. Then I'll know where to find it. There we go. Let's close that. And then I'll come over here. And we will go add source, media files. We go over here to PNG. Boom. Boom. There we go. Oh, it's sideways. We got to swap it on the Z-axis, my dudes. There we go. Look at it rotating, man. Imagine the future we live in where we're able to rotate things digitally, right? Oh, we went too far. Uh-oh. 90. There we go. Boom. We rotated it around, but anyhow, there we go. So, I'm having to throw on my gas mask, right? Which... I want to remind people out there that somebody wearing a gas mask does not mean that they are a criminal or air quote Antifas or whatever it is, this weird boogeyman situation that people are in at this point. That is my respirator for working on drywall, painting your house, painting whatever. That's what this is for, right? So that I don't get sick from stuff that is airborne in the air. Now, I will tell you, some people wanted to have a real interaction with this fella last night because it had gotten late again. It had gotten late again. And I had to do my steps last night. So it was like, it was about 11 o'clock where I was like, I'm just hiking around the neighborhood. I'm going around this like 4-block loop around. And, the reality is like people are freaked out by the boogeyman these days. And so a couple of guys decided that they wanted to have an interaction with this fella. Now, luckily, nothing got too out of hand, but it was a little bit weird. And it was definitely weird in the fact that, like, why would anybody think, like, as just, why would a sane person think, like, oh, I'm going to have an interaction with the guy that I think is the boogeyman over there. Like, he must be up to something, right? That's the thing that boggles my mind. It's like, how quickly an interaction like that could become insanely life-changing to the point where you might not even just have a life anymore. That is the thing I really don't get. And my guess, if I had to wager from all of the Trump signs that they had out front of their house, I would guess a wager that they are worried about the Antifas, right? The Antifas is going to get them, which, I don't know. I have to admit, it's the year 2020, and I find this whole situation to be very, very strange. Very strange. But apparently in the year 2020, you can't wear a respirator to go walking around because there's a giant cloud of smoke outside, and the air is unhealthy to breathe. One of the guy's point was there was absolutely zero reason that anybody would be doing that. And I was like, I'm walking around for fitness and there's smoke out here, And of course it's a guy who's like smoking a cigarette, like, just no big deal. It's like, dude, man, if you want to die, let yourself just go inside and smoke. I don't know. And, as a former smoker myself, I'm not casting stones at people that want to do that kind of stuff. I'm just saying, like, what's the plan? What's the plan with the interaction? It was just very, very strange. Just a strange interaction. But everything worked out fine, and everybody's okay. So, not to alarm anybody, but my advice would be, hey, man, if you're walking around with a gas mask on or a respirator on, apparently people are going to think that you're Hans Gruber, or something. I'm not 100% sure. Who's that guy from, let me see, the villain from Die Hard? I think it was Hans Gruber, right? God. Oh man, I'm on it. I'm on fire today. My bros. I was legit correct. This fella right here. I gotta hold on, let me get the screen capture here working. Yeah. I got it right. Oh man, 2 points for I don't know if I would say I was in Gryffindor. I don't know what I would be in. I don't know what group I would be in if I was in the Harry Potter's universe. Yeah, Hans Gruber. I think maybe they thought I was this guy. Right? Snape? It's Professor Snape. Actually, it's true. Isn't that Professor Snape? Professor Snape, that's the guy who played him, right? So I guess it would be 2 points for Gryffindor, right? I think that's what it is. I don't know. I might be right. I might be wrong. Did Alan Rickman pass away? Did he pass away? Really? Let's see. Oh, yeah, he did. 2016. Yeah, that's 4 years ago, guy. Come on now. That is unfortunate. I really enjoyed his acting. His acting was quite good. I wonder what happened. Let's see. He was known for his languid tone. Very much so. But let's see. How old was he? 46. 1946 to 2016. So that is kind of young-ish these days, right? What did he pass away from? Died age 69. It doesn't say. Does it say? Well, we have to go back and find out. Alan Rickman, cause of death. There it is right there. Boom. Top question. Cancer. Ah, crap. That's, yeah, ungood. That's ungood. Maybe he should have, he probably should have worn his respirator more often. Would be my guess, if I had to guess. Oh, that's right. He was in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Oh, dope. Cool dude, man. Sorry to spoil everybody's Monday and find out that Alan Rickman died 4.5 years ago. So, not to ruin anybody's day. But, if you're somebody who likes to have your day ruined, you too could become a supporter here on this channel. Boom. Check that out. Dude. Segway, bros. Imagine the level of Segway around here. It's like a dude riding around on a 2-wheeled podium. You know? Segway! Good times. Anyhow, you could go over to Patreon, like Dan Squires just posted in the chat right there. You could go as little as $1 a month and become a patronizer over on a third-party channel. Or you could do it here on YouTube if you're somebody who doesn't like to go to other websites because it seems like you're going somewhere when you're not actually going somewhere. Your fingers are doing the talking. That's all blah, blah, blah. Words, words, words. You know what I'm saying. You could join up. It costs money. Blah, blah, blah. There is a thing that there is a benefit. It's called our Discord. It's 24 hours a day. You can post on there, or you could post on the Patreon page, and we talk about it on Friday shows. Those are the current things that you could do and sponsor the channel. Commercial over. Anyhow, wow, I thought it was more recent from Big D Smoke. Now it was apparently 4 years ago. Texas Andy, my buddy at work got a closed Coke can thrown at him because his hat was red, but it was a Houston Rockets hat. The whole world just needs to chill. It's like we're living in bizarro world. Yeah, it is like we're living in bizarro world. It is like we're living in bizarro world for sure. But it also feels like we're repeating the past. We're repeating the Nixon administration. You know what I'm saying? Hiram Santiago says, is this a fish discussion channel, or did I join on the wrong day? Oh, my God. You know what we should do? We should talk about what it is that we do around here on this channel. People have recently gotten very upset with me because they're like, this is a fish YouTube channel. You should only ever talk about aquariums. It's the only thing you should ever talk about. And I get that. I get where you're coming from. But I am a human being. I am not a robot. So when I do a live stream, I generally interact with people in the chat. Now, I could get on here and do a dissertation about CO2 exchange or something like that, but I find that to be very awkward, and I could generally do that in an edited video much better than I could live. So when I get on here, I generally interact with the chat, the people that are here, and sometimes I do go off on wild tangents that my brain takes me on, and some people enjoy it. Some people don't. I love all you guys, and I love having interactions with you guys. If you have a question, send it on in. If you have a really prescient question that is a lot of Q&A and back and forth and all of that kind of stuff, it becomes exceedingly difficult to put everyone else on the live stream on hold to try and ask questions back and forth, which is why we have the member Discord and all of that kind of stuff, and we're able to take pictures of stuff, give test results, talk to people about what kind of lights and filters and all of that kind of stuff. So I just want people to know the live streams are kind of loose depending on what is going on and what we're talking about. Joanne's Martinson says, are you into hot rods? I'm into mechanics. Like, I'm very interested in mechanics. I was a fleet mechanic when I stopped being a chef at one point in time in my life. I was a fleet mechanic mostly on diesel and small gas engines. It's something that I'm interested in, but it's not something that I would say I have a high level of expertise. I just have a high level of know-how for, basic repairs, the inner workings of, if you wanted me to bore out your cylinders and do all that kind of stuff, I could do it. I certainly wouldn't do it as fast as real professionals would or anything like that. Dan Squire says, how do I link the member Discord? You do not link the member Discord. If you become a member, you can either gain access to the membership Discord via the membership posts on YouTube, or if you do it on Patreon, you will be automatically linked to it. That's how it works. What is it about mechanics you like the most? Is it the oil under the fingernails? I love doing the work. I love doing the work. I love the machinery that goes into it. Machining metal is awesome to me. Welding, gas combustion, electric combustion, all that stuff very much interests me, and I 100% love looking into it, figuring out how things work, how I can interact with them is... I'm really interested in that, and that's one of the reasons that I'm very interested in the aquarium hobby. It sort of has all of those little things crammed into one box. You have electricity, you have pumps, you have filters, you have biology, you have the science of plants, and there's so much stuff in aquariums. That's why I'm generally interested in it. Aquarium Adventures says, are you still doing much art? I am currently not doing very much art. I am working on penciling out some murals for down here in my office. I talked to Vicky about it the other day, and I was like, what's stopping me from painting in here? And she said, you or something? I don't know. She was like confounded. And so I am working on doing some murals down here. I have 2 paintings that I'm working on currently. One of them is for a private company, or not a private company. One is for a private commission. So I likely won't post anything about that, mainly because it's for somebody who put a deposit down to pay for it, and there's really no timeline on it. So I'm just kind of fiddling with it, figure out exactly what I'm doing with that, along with some other canvas. But I might do some fish or plants or something at some point, but I'm just really not doing that much art, and there really is no commissions out there to be had. So I was going to be painting some houses this year and doing some remodels, but those all got canceled. This pandemic has been totally kooky McNutty, that's for sure. Oh, and the mechanics thing too. Like, so my dad was a flight mechanic in the Navy, and he also worked for Ford when I was a kid, and then he retired and became a janitor. So we were all always working on cars when I was a kid. So I know how to rebuild carburetors, change oil, pull the transmission, change your brakes, make brake lines, pull the master cylinder, do all that stuff. I know how to do all that stuff from my dad. So I really like it, but it's not something that I would ever call myself an expert. I just have kind of a working knowledge of knowing how to do most of that stuff. Like, I can rebuild alternators, but I am not even remotely any kind of expert or anything like that to give advice to anybody. Like, you're using the wrong gauge wire. And they would be like, no, I'm not. And I'd be like, yeah, Doy, you're probably right. So, yeah, I mean, that's generally why I don't really do any of that stuff on the internet, because I really can't give good advice for it. So, Hiram Santiago says, okay, thank you. I like your fish video and DIY. Ciao. Okay, yeah. See, it's not for everybody. I get it. But we do talk a lot about aquariums and stuff on here for sure. I definitely did nature aquariums and always comes in 3s. Wait, what's going on? Atkins. What was the initial question? I missed it. Oh no. I don't know. I don't see the initial question. Maybe they retracted it or something? What's wrong with me? Do I know how to read anymore? Come on now. Come on, brains. Atkins. Oh, that was way up there. Oof. Always at the worst time, right? At Chris John. Oh, man, I'm like trying to track your guys' conversation. Still spent $300 on parts plus the tow bill to get it back to our city. Had to happen while on vacation in a neighboring city. Oh, man, this is a long conversation. We got to keep going back up here. I don't know. I'm going to stop reading this thread because it seems like there was a car problem or something. So, Atkins Nature says, I like fabricating stuff. MIG welding is really fun. I agreed. Wire feed, MIG welding is totally fun. You know, I had people over the years tell me, like, well, once you get into stick welding, you'll never go back to MIG. And I have to admit, I've done both, and I like MIG welding better, just as a personal thing. I don't know. Chevy Fish. Definitely with some head-scratching moments. Yeah, that's for sure. Like tracking down why... you know, some voltage regulator is making the turn signals not work properly. Like, that's a good example of, like, what is wrong with this car? You know, and it turns out it's just some weird voltage regulator that was never really that good anyhow. So, definitely been down those head-scratching moments for sure. Although, you know, I used to rebuild hydraulics and stuff like that on the weekends, and that can be just as crazy as the electrical stuff, that's for sure, if not crazier. Dan Squires, you always have something to fix. It's the best distraction. Yeah, there's always something to fix, that's for sure. Always with aquariums, too. There's always something to... with aquariums, there's always something to improve or fix or repair or, you know, make a better efficiency, if that makes sense. Zucchini has lower water content compared to cucumber, so there's more stuff to eat. That's a good point, but if you have a cucumber, you know, cucumber works fine. I've tried to think of what I've fed. Jeffro's Aquariums would be a good one to go look at if there were some foods that you were trying to figure out which fish like better or not. He does the pleco versus, you know, it's like pleco versus pumpkin, avocado, cucumber, zucchini, all of that kind of stuff. He does a great job, like, having a big library there of feeding stuff to fish and then finding out if the fish like it or not and seeing how they do. Glass City Fish Witch says hello to Chevy Fish and everyone else. What's up? Johnst Francis says fish like water. That's a good point. Most fish like water. It's questionable whether or not killifish actually like water or not, since they're always escaping it. I don't understand. Maybe it bothers them somehow, and they don't like being in there. They don't like being in the water or something. Why is David Packman live? He wasn't supposed to be live. He must have hit 1 million subscribers and decided to go live. We couldn't play cricket without cucumber sandwiches. Cucumber sandwiches are delicious, so if there's cucumber sandwiches at cricket, you would have a much higher possibility of getting me to go. How about that? I didn't realize, like, how much of a phenom cricket is throughout the world actively. Like, I didn't actively recognize it. And my mom, Olivia's grandmother, was over here being a grandma the other day, and she put on a cricket documentary. She was like, oh, I was interested in this. It's on Netflix. And, I mean, the documentary was interesting, and it seems like cricket's kind of a fun game if you, like, know what's going on. Like, it seems pretty exciting. So I can respect that. It's always been marketed in the U.S. as the most boring game that's ever existed, and it didn't seem that boring. It seemed medium boring. I've definitely done more boring things in my life, that's for sure. Johannes, that's a big no-no. So, a question. Salt in a Corridora tank, big yes or big no-no? Generally speaking, I would say that's a no. We certainly don't want salt water with Corydoras, but it depends on why you would be adding the salt. They're not a fish that would really require the extra minerals and stuff in there, and so I wouldn't recommend it. Chevy fish, killifish think the glass is greener on the other side. That must be it. That must be their deal. Except they come from areas where they hit extreme drought, and so basically when it comes time for them to lay their eggs and stuff, that's generally when they start hopping out of the tank. They don't tell us that. They just start hopping out. And I will say, there was one point in time in my fishing career, fishy aquarium career, I don't know what you want to call it. I had 8 nano tanks all in a row on this rack, or not a rack, but like a big counter thing. And they were all aquascaped, and they were all like, an inch and a half, 2 inches from each other, which however many centimeters that is, it's probably 2 or 5,000. Who knows? Couple inches apart. Clown killies made it into every single tank and laid eggs in all of the tanks, because I ended up with baby killies in all of the tanks and enough dried eggs and stuff that pieces of driftwood that I took out of an aquarium and stuck in a box for 6 months and then put into a tank would hatch killies. Very cool fish though. I love those little guys. They're badass. And maybe someday. Golf is the most boring to watch, but surprisingly fun to play. That's debatable, because if you're watching the U.S. Open or whatever the big tournament, like a big tournament, it's pretty action-packed the way that they put the package together on TV. I got to admit, it's like this guy's teeing off, this guy's chipping, all of a sudden we're on the green, and this guy's putting, and he missed, and then it's like, there's another guy, he's teeing off. So kind of interesting when it's on TV. I mean, if you're feeling in just like a real laid-back, chill mode on a non-football Sunday, which, by the way, I have to admit, thank you for the NFL being back. Hopefully everything works out fine and they continue to play the games. The Seattle football Seahawks looked, I would not say A+ yesterday, but definitely B+, looked good. I'm appreciative of that. I spent so many years in the failing Seattle Seahawks franchise, being a fan of football. I like watching football. I don't like going to games. I don't like playing football personally because I'm just not good for it. Or, I don't have the frame for it. You know what I mean? I'm not tall enough. Whatever. I just would get beat up. But I love watching football. I love watching NFL. Not a huge fan of college football or anything, but, I'm glad to see that the Seahawks are really good this year. That'll be fine. Just don't get injured to the point where you have no running backs again, because that was ridiculous last year. I hope that doesn't happen again. Stay healthy. Johan says, Dan, okay, thanks, but if I pour some baby brine shrimp into the Cory tank, there's a little salt in the hatch. Is that going to kill the fish? I did post on my, where did that strainer go? I have this little, what was it? It was, it's for a baby brine shrimp. I used this little jammer here. Here we go. This little doodly boops. If you want to rinse the water out, which I would recommend doing, so you basically just get a cup of aquarium water, you get your brine shrimp, you strain them through here, you can dip them into the aquarium water and then just dunk them into the tank or whatever, and it's just so diluted that there's really no problems. Federal Trade Commission requires me to tell you at some point in time during the live stream, we get paid for people buying stuff on Amazon because we're an affiliate. So if you click the link and you buy stuff, be aware of that. It doesn't change the price, though. So, yeah. But the FTC says I'm supposed to tell you that we're basically sponsored by Amazon, but only if you guys buy stuff. So, it's very weird, but That's the world we live in now. In the year 2020, things are on fire, and you can't wear you can't wear a respirator because people will threaten you with violence, which is very weird. But welcome to the year we're in. Yeah, so I just used one of those little tea strainers. It's the easiest thing because it's stainless steel, little tiny holes, pretty fine, good to go, all good, easy. Help you keep the salt out. But I wouldn't be that worried from adding a little bit of salt water from the brine shrimps. Not that big of a deal. And then you're going to do a water change later anyhow, right? Like a couple days later. So, yeah, should be fine. I took a hybrid number 9 driver to a 9-hole. Even used it as a putter and still won. I have no idea what that means. Dan, I took a hybrid number 9 driver to a 9-hole. Oh, like a 9-hole tournament and used it as a putter and still won? I can see how that is. You never have to change your grip or anything like that. At Roger Aquarium, the Patriots. What did Roger say? Let me see. I'm going to read with my eyes. Who do the Seahawks play next? Oh, yeah, I think they play the Patriots next week. So it's Sunday night football, I believe. Let's see. Seahawks schedule. And I got to admit, the Patriots with Cam Newton seems a little intense. I don't know how that game's going to go. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Patriots at Seahawks with no fans in the stadium. It's going to be weird. Is it no fans or limited fans? I don't know. We have an open-air stadium, so that might be better for the pandemic, but I don't know. I don't know what that means. I've seen games where there's no fans, like yesterday in Atlanta. So, I don't know. Johannes says, so, everyone in here from the United States? No, absolutely not. I can 100% testify that not everyone in here is from the U.S. I have a lot of European fans, but the United States is the highest percentage. That might be fun. Let's check out those analytics real quick. What country 'tis of thee are y'all from? Crap, where is that? Engage audience. There's an audience button here. Age and gender. Top countries. Here we go. Let's pull up the top countries. United States, number 1. India, number 2. United Kingdom, number 3. Quickly followed by Indonesia, the Philippines, Canada, Australia, Malaysia, then Germany, then Singapore, then Netherlands, then Mexico, then Italy, then the UAE, France, Brazil, Bangladesh, Poland, Vietnam, South Africa, Thailand, Spain, Sweden, Russia. These are all real low numbers down here. Let's see the lowest of the low with only 10 views last month. 4 countries tied. Chile, Costa Rica, Greece, and Norway. So we have like one Norwegian fan, one Greek fan, one Costa Rican fan, and one Chilean fan, and maybe 2 fans in South Korea. So, yeah, that's the breakdown for you. Viewer age. Let's check that out real quick. 0% fans 13 to 17. 12% are 18 to 24. The big group here is 25 to 34. 35 to 44 outshines all the other groups. Those 25 to 44 is the winner, where I'm at. Yeah. Every time someone is talking about yellow labs, I'm thinking of puppies. Yellow lab, one of my favorite, like African cichlids if you wanted to do a fish only with rock tank. Johan says, I'm the only Swede, I guess. Well, we have multiple Swedish people watching the channel. I do know that. So how accurate are the analytics? I don't know. I feel like I moved my camera a little bit, and I'm like weirdly down here today. Let me sit up straight. There, I'm going to sit up straight for the rest of the however long the show continues to be on. Although I do have a camera in the way that's blocking my beauty light. Oh, my beauty light. That's what we call that light up there. I have plants, but they eat them. Yeah, cichlids do, 100%. Let's see here. All right, let me read the chat. Golf is a little salt is good for many fish, but not Corey's. Yeah, it's not really great to be adding salt to fresh water either way. Some fish tolerate it. Some fish, it does help with their slime coat and stuff, but, it's just not like a big reason behind it unless you're treating for some kind of potential fungus or ick or something like that. There's no real strong reason to just be adding for freshwater only fish, It's not. Wear a hazmat suit and see how close they come. Yeah, I don't think I'll be wearing a hazmat suit, that's for sure. I'm going to scroll way back in the chat, all the way up to the back to the top. Sayurasem says, save your plant weights when you buy lead bunch plants from your local fish store. I do save plant weights, but I also buy them by like the 25 pack or whatever, and I run out. So I think next time I go up, tomorrow when I go up to work, I'm going to have to buy some more plant weights. So just saving them whenever I buy plants is insufficient for my needs. So where do they go? I don't know. I have little piles of them around, but it's just, it's nonsense. Aquarium Adventures, as a perpetually portly chap, proud to say I'm down 35 pounds since deciding to do something about it 4 weeks ago. That's a lot of weight to drop in 4 weeks, bro. So that's a congrats with a little hint of caution. Try not to crash too hard on your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like don't try to crash your weight too fast. Do you think there's a good deal with ambient light in my kitchen in regards to the light schedule on my 20 long planted tank? A good way to deal with the ambient light? As far as fish tanks go, ambient non-direct light isn't going to be that big of a deal for fish tanks realistically, unless you have just like a ton of light like pounding in through the windows like off the way and it's getting a lot of light. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but maybe dial back the photo period that you are artificially adding into the aquarium with your lights. So I would just shorten the light schedule that you have going, on your current tank. If you have it on for 6, maybe dial it back for 4 and let some of that natural light in there. If it's getting that much light, definitely take that into consideration. Atkins Nature Aquarium says, Coop in the house. Oh, yeah, aquarium. Corey was here. I don't know if he's still here. He might be here. Who knows? He's always lurking, you guys. If it's an internet thing, Corey might be lurking. Just be aware of that. He's doing this one. Like, he's watching. He knows what you're doing. He's watching everybody. He knows what everybody's doing at all times. He's, I was going to say omniscient, but he's not omniscient. He's just ever present. Shame that guy earlier left. He missed all the good stuff. People leave, man. People come, people go. It is what it is, man. I don't, to be honest with you guys, like, I don't stress about it, dude. And I've said this before, like, we have, 70 something, how many people watching right now? 72 people watching right now. In my humble opinion, I'm a fairly humble person realistically, but I'm fairly loud and gregarious. I get that. But in my own opinion, there's 72 people here watching, 100 people, 50 people. You know what? Like, it's all good with me, dude. Like, I don't need 10 million people watching a live stream. You know what I mean? There's enough people here to have a conversation back and forth. People are being inspired. Oh, I have a question. And then they bring the question. We kind of talk about it a little bit. You guys are able to contribute into the chat. Maybe remind me if I said something inaccurate or whatever. To be honest, I've been on live streams where the chat is going by so fast you can't even read it and stuff like that. So that's just the reality of where I'm at. That, like, dude, if there's like 100 people here, 50 people here, and we were all sitting in a room, we'd be like, dude, a whole bunch of people showed up to talk about fish today. So I just look at it that way, and I'm totally happy and content with everything that's going on. And to those of you out there that are like, oh, yeah, but he wants to get funded on his projects. Yeah, dude, I totally want to get funded on my projects, man. Like, it would be so disingenuous for me to be like, I don't want to get paid for my work. Like, what am I, the Buddha? I'm not the Buddha. I'm not the Jesus. I'm not any of that. I would like to be able to pay my bills with the projects that I work on, for sure. A lot of my projects I don't get paid for at all. And you're like, ah, crap, that sucks. I spent 20 hours working on a painting and nobody ever bought it. But the thing is, like, I would like to get paid for those projects. So if people find value in what I do and they want to help fund what I'm doing, awesome. If not, I'm just going to kind of keep doing what I'm doing and hope for the best, you know? So it's kind of weird because people have definitely tried to influence what it is that I do and what it is that I don't do. And I've been straight up with you guys before, and I'll be straight up with you now. If somebody came in and they said, we want to pay you $50,000 a month to tell everybody that CChem is awesome, and I'd be like, I'll figure out how to tell people that CChem is awesome then, I guess, because that's honestly how the world works. I wish there was a way to not have to exist around having money, but I just about crapped my pants a month ago when I bought the most expensive camera I've ever bought, and it is a cheap consumer camera. I mean, it was $2,500, and I'm like, am I seriously spending $2,500 to buy a camera that I'm going to take pictures and make videos with not knowing that there will ever be money recouped on that? And the answer was, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to keep trying to do the thing that I'm trying to do. And that's document, educate, help people, entertain also. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, but it would be totally wrong for me to say that, like, I wouldn't want to get paid to do the thing I like to do. For some reason in the United States, it's like, well, that guy's a sellout. And you're like, yeah, how many bands have been proclaimed that they're a sellout when they sign a deal with a company that pays them to do the thing that they want to do, right? And all of a sudden they're a sellout? Or, I mean, is the nurse working at the hospital a sellout? Is the, you know, like, is the guy who runs management at Amazon, is that a sellout? No, I mean, we all have bills to pay and stuff. I don't know what to tell anybody. I don't know. It's just a reality, but it's just, I don't know. Off the top of my head, it's not a great way to express what it is that's going on in there, but I'd have to write it down, I think. Mauricio Ramos. Sorry, let me try this again. Mauricio. Jeez. All right. Mauricio Ramos Jr. Set up a tank at work. Had a bet with my manager saying if I can hide it for 2 weeks, I can keep it. It's there to stay now. What? Our regional manager hates fish tanks, but all my coworkers wanted one. So if my manager couldn't find it for 2 weeks, I could keep it. But it had to be out of sight because that regional, in case she shows up. I don't know how you did that, but that is amazing. That is amazing, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you with that, but that's amazing. I don't all right. I want to know how big this aquarium is now, because if you said it was like a 1 gallon tank, obviously you could just put it in a locker or something. You know what I mean? But let's say it's a 20 long. I don't know where you would put that with all the lights and everything that you just wouldn't be able to see it. So I'm interested. I'm interested. I would like hopefully see a post about that at some point in time. It's very, very interesting. It's just a 10-gallon. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see where you could kind of hide a 10-gallon. I don't know. That still feels kind of interesting. Steve Bearteach, I always say your name wrong, and it's kind of fun. I kind of like doing it now. Have you done much local species collecting? Anything work good into your tanks? I kind of talked about this on Friday. I'm not a huge fan of local species collecting unless you really live in an area. Like the area I live in right now, there's overwinter stuff. So there's a bunch of stuff that, you know, it's either expecting snowfall or something in the winter, and it's a temperate zone here, so it's kind of weird to find stuff that's going to do well. The stuff here in Washington State, you'd be better off with like doing a terrarium or something like that. That would definitely work out a lot better, I think, than just doing simply aquatic plants. I would be kind of the deal. Oh, Sean Tomlinson says, we haven't heard the word plant for 5 minutes, bro. Kind of rants now. Yeah, I mean, that kind of falls in line with the people that show up to a live stream and they're like, I want to hear about something. And they just hear, they hear themselves ask the question in their head, I think. Because I didn't see any other posts from Sean. Like maybe he had a question or something. And I'm apparently not talking about the thing that you want me to talk about, but you haven't even said what you want me to talk about. So, you know, I don't know. I've mentioned even in this stream here, it's about interacting with you guys. It's a live stream. Otherwise, I could just like record hour-long videos of me talking and then post them. And they just exist as a video, and you couldn't actually talk to me or anything. I guess we could do that. We could try that out. I could honestly try that out. I've thought about doing that for quite a while. I was thinking about recording a live stream offline and then just having it play as a live stream, and then me just be commenting in the live chat like a lot, right? So then people would think, oh, he's live right now, but he's not reading anything that we're saying, and somebody is chatting for him in the live stream chat, right? But then I thought, man, then people would just be like so irritated and always on guard forever about whether or not I was actually live, that I think it would be kind of detrimental to the ongoing relationships that I have with people in the chat, like Robin Guppy Art, you know? Like Robin would be like, I don't know if he actually is live, because it would just be this question that would be lingering in the air forever. And, you know, I don't really... Seems like a prank that wasn't worth it. You know what I mean? Seems like a prank that would just make everybody suspicious all the time. Although still a funny like thought to maybe do. I don't know. There is a website that finds new species from just that. Bentley Pasco, I really want to place in a clear box, photograph, and immediately release a lot of the tiny river fish around here. Could always ask permission from DNR, I suppose. Yeah, I bet you could. Ask about that. There are some rare species that it's just not popping into my head right now, but there are some rare species in Washington that I would love to be able to go net and take pictures of. But a lot of them are on like native land and stuff like that you really have to get some permissions for. And I don't, to be honest, I don't even know where to start with that, because it's already enough work to like go drive out there and actually do the activity. That it's like, who am I emailing even? Right? I don't know. So maybe I'll just drive out there someday and just try and take pictures and hopefully not get in trouble. I don't know. Almost done building out the electrical at this biotest lab for Texas Health, from Jake D663. Man, how long have you been working on that? I know you've been working on that electrical there for a while, but as I think anybody with a good amount of electrical experience knows that these projects just take a really long time. So my guess, it's an ongoing project's probably going to be a long time. Mauricio says, I work at Lens Crafters and we have a lab. Some machines we don't use anymore had some storage space hidden in the open. I took advantage and covered all gaps to prevent light bleeding out. Fun times. I did not expect the place you worked to be Lens Crafters, dude. Hats off, bro. Hats off. I was expecting you to be like working at some manufacturing plant or something that had like a lot of space, not like a Lens Crafters. Man, I don't know, but maybe there's like a big back area to Lens Crafters that I've never seen, but all right. So me and my girlfriend just bought a house, and I can finally have my fish room. Yeah. Any do and do nots when setting up a fish room? About 55 to 60 square feet. Do's and do nots? Man. You want a dehumidifier for sure. Plumb water ahead of time. Do the electrical ahead of time. Like add extra outlets. Add extra feeds for power. Install a drain if you're a gangster for water changes. Water. Dehumidifier. Build everything out. As far as all the stands and all that stuff, I mean, there's a ton of advice. Whether or not any of it's applicable would really be my question. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. Dan has a good point. Black out the windows and heat the room, not the tanks. It's a good point. That's a good point. That's good advice. Daniel Velez, what's up, my dude? Says, hello, everyone. Hope all are safe and well. We're all existing and doing the best we can in the smoke cloud that is Western Washington. Plan for 3XS humidity. Plan for the excess humidity. Yeah, I'd plan for the excessive humidity. It definitely is probably the biggest thing that people overlook, would be my guess, is the dehumidifier. Mine runs months and months out of the year. Not right now. During the summer, I don't need it, but during the rest of the year, for sure. So it's about to kick back on here pretty soon because it's getting cold out and got to dehumidify. Joel G from New Z with a super chat of $2 Kiwi dollars and a little, I don't even know what that is. What is that, a fox? A fox throwing up a number 1 maybe? Seems to be smiling, so that's good. We'll get that going for us. All right. Thanks, Joel G. Long-time support from guys like Joel G is why we're even here. That's why we're even here, right? Is just cool peeps like the Gillet. How do I get back to my, I got to close this dashboard. How many people unsubscribed today? 6. Ooh, 6 so far. Baller. It was a good live stream when at least 6 people unsubscribed, so that's good. Question, did anybody hit the like button? Is the like button important? I don't know. Let's update our memberships real quick to the exact same number that one is. And the Patreon number, let's update it. Let's go like this. 226. It's exactly the same. The numbers are updated, so we got that going for us. Boom. Good times. What do we got here? Cat pulling the fingers or something. Yeah, I don't know what that sticker is. It's very funny. Looks like a Shibu Inu or maybe a Corgi from Melissa. Yeah, you're probably onto something there for sure, I'd guess. None plant question. I've just started painting, but I've been told I should learn how to draw first. Did you? Yes, actually, I took a lot of fine art classes, not only through middle school, high school, then community college stuff. I never went to four-year college or anything like that. I went to community college whenever I wanted to learn something, basically. And I started going to community college when I was like 15, I think. 15, something like that. So, but I continued to go to community college until I accidentally graduated high school. I'm not telling anybody to do this or not do this, but when I was in high school, you had to take all these PE classes. Now, I did rock climbing, mountaineering. I was on competition level soccer teams. I did a bunch of other sports stuff. Even even my coach for football, soccer, whichever one you want to call it. If you're in the U.S., it's soccer. If you're worldwide, it's football. I played indoor, outdoor, all that stuff, competition, tournaments, blah, blah, blah. And even like one of our coaches was a school administrator from like another school district. So it was even administered in this is at the very least way better than PE class. So I didn't want to take the PE class because they never were really doing anything in there that I wanted to do. So then I took bowling and a couple other things because I was already a league bowler, along with other nonsense. And so I didn't have enough PE credits to graduate, along with some, I forget what classes it was. I think it was like some random social studies and some other stuff. I don't know. It was very weird. But where I live at the time, so this is over 25 years ago, whatever, you could go to community college for free if you were, air quote, finishing your high school diploma. So I kept going to college essentially for free until I accidentally graduated from high school, and they sent me a high school diploma in the mail. It just came one day, and I was like, oh, crap. Now I can't go to college for free anymore. So then after that, I had to pay out of pocket the few other times I went. But, you know, community college is the bomb, dude. You get to go work with and learn from like really good professors, and it's not $40,000 a year. I think now it's probably about like $2,000, something like that. Let me see. Community college rates. Let's look up the rates. Oh my God, it's way more expensive now. Resident is $4,000 for what? Oh, is that like for the year? Oh, okay. If it's $4,000, who cares? That's no big deal. Tuition is $4,000. So I'm guessing you're probably taking 15 credits every quarter. So, yeah, it might be about the same because, let's see, each quarter was $680 when I went. No, it's double. It's double. It's twice as much, but that's still way cheap. Yeah. Master Dex says, setting up a new tank and hoping to keep some geophagus in there. I heard they are hard on plants. Any suggestions for hardy plants that will survive them? Yeah, any Anubias, basically. Any Bucephalandra, any kind of grasses generally are good ones. Not a lot of stem plants are going to be great, but like carpeting, what do I think? Dwarf chainsword. Dwarf chainsword would be a good one, namely because, it's sending out its runners under, and it's normally like popping up and showing up all over the place, which I actually have that happening right now with an aquarium co-op tank I'm building, or I already built it here. I'm growing it for aquarium co-op. I'm documenting it with all these like in-depth time-lapse madness, which may or may not make a cool video. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. Master Dex says, I have so much guppy grass. I don't know if I'd planted in another tank. Too much maintenance. Generally, my advice on guppy grass is don't put it in too many tanks. You'll get you'll get really frustrated with guppy grass overgrowing all of your tanks. So I'd keep it in the one tank, thin it out pretty regularly, and be sure not to put it on the ground locally or anything like that. Just make sure you let it get into the compost and it's not accidentally ending up in the waterways or anything like that. Don't just throw it outside, you know what I mean, kind of thing. Any advice and tips on Pilo moss? I don't know Pilo moss. Let me look that up. I'm going to look that up. It's not like registering any kind of stroke of oh man, I got to check that out. Or I mean, let's see, Pilo moss aquarium. This has to have a different name. Oh, okay. Okay. So here's the actual name. It's not Pilo moss. Here we go. Here is the actual name, and let's see what we can do to butcher the pronunciation. It's Pilo tricaceae. It's something like that. So it has been a really long time since I've had this sort of in-depth fascination with mosses, which I did for a good amount of time. And I do remember getting and having some of this in, I think it was like a 12-gallon, like this weird 12-gallon tank we had. Maybe it wasn't that tank, but the basic advice on this would just be the sort of standard moss deal, which is, trim it. Make sure you have a good amount of CO2 in the aquarium, and make sure you're falling in line with the temperature of what this moss should be at. As you guys know, most mosses spend a good amount of their time growing up or growing to get up out of the water column, and this one is very similar to that. So if you can't maintain a good amount of CO2 in the water column, you're going to have issues, and I would make sure to just keep it in range of the temperature that you're having success with it. I can't remember off the top of my head what temperature I had this at, but like kind of a cursory basic Google search here is 18 to 26 Celsius, which is just a gigantic range to be in for pretty much anything. So seems like temperature is pretty a reasonable range. Let me get that in Fahrenheit so we know what we're talking about here. Oops. Hold on. I almost got it. What is happening here? What is going on with this Googler? It's broken. 2 Fahrenheit. Because 26 is, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's so rare that it's only like when I'm making a video do I look up this chart. 18 Celsius is 64 and 80 degrees. So yeah, if you're between 64 and 80 degrees, generally going to be fine. So I wouldn't put it in a hot water tank or anything like that. But yeah, I think you're going to be good. I think you'll be good as long as you fall in there. But just make sure you have a good amount of CO2, or it'll definitely. Oh, and let's see. Alyssa brought up, I just think I can't grow out the wood rot. Yeah, so what most people encounter is that they're not trimming their moss enough. So the under layer ends up dying off, right? Because it keeps growing up and up and up, and everything like way down at the bottom is what dies off. It'll float off of whatever you glued it to and stuff like that. That's just a sign that you're not trimming it enough. If you keep trimming it back, it will keep that under layer healthy and continue to root where it's at. That's the basic advice I can give you, is just keep trimming it diligently on a regular schedule. So once a week might be overly frequent, but once every 2 weeks is likely going to be a good amount of trimming that you would want to stick to. That's for sure. I've been getting into plants lately, Mr. Joel G. Good. Plants are the best. Yes, they are the best. 100%. Steve Bertich. Thoughts on a no substrate rhizome plant featured tank? Ever seen a compelling example? I would say that I've seen compelling examples, but the best advice I would give on that would be you'd want to grow, what is that called? Black Water terrarium. I think this might put us... We want a riparium. That's what we want. Riparium. Riparium. Here. And let's do a little image search here. So, let me find one that doesn't have really any substrate to it. And see if we can't find a compelling example, as you asked. Let's say... Oh, here we go. Here's one. Uh-oh. Can we... Stupid Pinterest. Useless. Let's save image as. So it's a little bit easier on us here. Boom. Then we go add source. And we make fart noises while we look for it. So just so you know, this is not my image. I am not claiming that this is my image, but this is just a quick Google search. I don't know who to give the credit to. Sarah Walk. I don't know. Sarah Walk, I guess, seems to be the person to give credit to. But this is a good example of sort of like no substrate. You know, there is just like a little bit of sand down here, but just take the sand out, right? And most rhizome plants will do fantastically set up this way. And so this would probably be kind of the best example that I could give if you wanted to do what it is that you were asking about, which is a rhizome tank with no substrate. This is what I would go for. So you'd want to do something like a riparium, which I couldn't remember riparium off the top of my head because it's so smoky out here. I've lost my damn mind. But yeah, this would kind of be my advice, realistically. Anthony Mix says, will mollies work in a 75-gallon tank with angels? I tried Rumminose tetras, and it didn't work out. No, I wouldn't think so. You probably won't see them harassing the other fish when the lights are on, when you're paying attention. It's typically at night when it's dark and you're not paying attention to the tank. They're angelfish kind of go into their sleeping / opportunistically feeding. So if they see other things moving around, they're going to bite them, harass them, nip at them, do all that kind of stuff. They'll probably do it during the day also, but not as frequent. It's more often than not like at night when you're not really paying attention. 'Cause they're in there 24 hours a day. We walk over there, deal with it kind of at most an hour a day. That still leaves 23 hours of all sorts of crazy stuff. Sayurasem I can't say your name right. Sayurasem. Maybe I got it right. Does temperature play a big role in plant growth health? Plants seem to like cooler water in the low 70s, and most fish tubers don't put much emphasis on temperature in a planted tank. One of the big reasons for that is that most of these plants don't come from extreme temperatures, so you'd have to find kind of those upper 80s degree plants that if you wanted to put them in an aquarium, those are the plants that you'd want to be looking for. So like a discus tank. Discus tank is going to be much warmer. It's going to be 85, 88 degrees, whatever. And you're going to really want to look for plants that's their natural temperature, and there's not a ton... There's not really any I can think of off of the top of my head. There are a bunch, but there's not necessarily any I can think of at the moment. But so that's what you'd want to do. You'd want to find those higher temperature plants. But the lower temperature in an aquarium with having the plants do better is a higher CO2 concentration. Like if you're putting CO2 into the water column, you'll be able to carry more of it in a lower temperature than a higher temperature. That has to do with the molecules moving around faster and the ability to hold things in, right? More viscous liquid, the hotter it is. Gets hot enough, it starts to boil, right? Super viscous, becomes a gas. Super Cracker, so that's the big reasoning behind that. Supreme Cracker says, my Styrogine repens carpet is not growing much and it's instead growing brown algae. What do I do? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything else about your tank, so I don't really know what else to do. And that's honestly, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I really am not. But I can't give advice if I don't know what's really going on with your tank. If you're growing brown algae, it could be any numerous number of things. You could have bad silicates, too much light, not enough CO2, not enough fertilizer, too much fertilizer. There's just a ton of stuff that could go into that, and it would be really rough for me to be just like, you need to put silicate remover in your tank. So it would be really rude for me to do that, and I don't really want to do that. But that's one of the reasons I have the Discord. We're able to share that kind of stuff. You could share it up on Patreon, you know. So I wish I could help better, but it's just not enough information that I could say like what's wrong, but could be a whole bunch of stuff going on. I would think maintenance and water changes and stuff is probably likely the biggest problem if the tank's been running for a long time. But that also makes me sound like I'm being a jerk, and I'm really not trying to be. And I'm not trying to be jerkish or anything like that. You know what I mean? So Green Man says, hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Well, good to see you. I found that letting hair, from Dan Squires, says, I found that letting hair algae grow out works. It kills itself eventually. Well, oftentimes, like, hair algae will, if, like, in a big tank, this isn't as prevalent, but in smaller tanks, hair algae will eventually, like, chew up all of the nutrients that it was feeding off of. So, while I would say that is fairly true, that it will kill itself eventually because it's eaten all of the nutrients that, or it's consumed. Eaten is kind of a weird word to put in there. It's consumed all of the nutrient that was allowing it to grow. But I would say that, like, as soon as you start doing water changes and add fertilizer and stuff like that, it'll probably grow back again. The best way for me to get rid of hair algae is a toothbrush. I just go around with a toothbrush, get a whole bunch of it out. Then I come back, do a water change, siphon out a little bit the spots where it's growing. And normally I get hair algae where, same with blackbeard algae. I normally get hair algae or blackbeard algae on points of contact where there's a lot of light hitting something, and there is generally a little bit of nutrient being released from it. So think like crumbly rocks or driftwood that's deteriorating, or that kind of stuff that's going on in the aquarium. That's generally what's going on. Johnst Francis, thanks, Corvus and everyone. Gotta go. Bottle brush is good for hair algae and plants, by the way. Yep, I love the toothbrush. They're affordable. I think I found a pack of them that was like 200 toothbrushes for like $9 or something. Let me see if I can find that. Toothbrush as bulk. So what I did is I bought, where did it go? Let me see if I can find it. So what I did was I bought, yeah, here we go, $10.49. So what I did was I bought these latex-free, individually wrapped adult toothbrushes, a pack of 144, and it was $10.49. And so it comes, I think it was 4 boxes inside there, right? So it was 4 boxes of toothbrushes. I took one of the boxes of toothbrushes for my aquariums, and then I donated the other 3 to the local shelter. So whether or not you guys want to do that, you could, or do whatever you want. I don't know, but that's what I did. So I have a box of those toothbrushes. They're individually wrapped, and I kind of just use them like crazy until they get screwed up, because I just leave an individual toothbrush with each tank, so I'm not spreading around whatever algae I'm scooping out with it or cleaning up with it. And yeah, it's kind of the way to go. And you guys could do that too if you wanted. If not, you don't have to. It's not a hard sell. Feel free to, I don't know, do whatever it is that you like to do, as long as you're not harming other people. I guess that's really what it comes down to. Master Dex says, I had a really bad case of blackbeard algae in a small 10-gallon, and a combination of glute and UV cleaned it so well. Woke up one day to find it all turning red and dying. Yeah, glutaraldehyde is a pretty damn good job of removing that blackbeard algae. You know, that overdosing of glutaraldehyde eventually turns red and dies. But people have warned me about recommending that to people. Now, all my recommendations are try at your own risk, I guess. And now that I said that, it's probably fine, I think. Maybe not. Who knows? But it is carcinogenic from Dan Squires. Good point. Maybe wear your gas mask. I don't know. Maybe you should. We have a record number of 700 million people watching the live stream today, which is great. That's always great to break the previous record of whatever it was. Who knows? It just says it's a new record, you know? Like, I don't make the rules, man. You know? It's just like when there's a record, just got to let people know. Just got to let people know. But I do have to get back to work. I have some work to do. And even though this is part of my job, we had 2 contributors today of Dan Squires and Joel G. Those are our 2. Oh, look at that. My painting broke loose. I'll fix that. But we had 2 contributors today. Dan Squires at $20 or €20 euro super chat. Thank you, my guy. And Joel G all the way from New Zealand. So we got the international people helping keep the show sponsored. Thank you very much, my guys. No new members today, which sucks, but that's the life. And let me double check the Patreon. No new Patreonizers. And so that's it for a Monday show. I hope everybody has a fantastic whatever. I'll be back on Friday and likely edited content coming out very, very soon about some stuff that's going on in the old Fisher-Rooney.